was talking to Dennis, and he was telling me how close his family is and his wife with your wife, and you guys get together and play cards, and then the kids are playing, and you know, you guys are all like having fun, getting rowdy, and then the kids are having fun and getting rowdy, and it's like when you were kids, that's what happened with you and Dennis, and now your kids are doing, you know.
Yeah, that and that's amazing because, you know, Avalon, you know, that's Dennis's daughter, and my daughter Mackenzie. You know, they were together at 3 years old and 4 years old, and even younger. And to this day, they are best of friends. You know, along with some of our other friends that they grew up with, and you know, Arden was a little bit younger, but Siggy and I and Deb and Lori, you know, we remain really good friends. Things have changed with COVID. You can't see a lot. Well, you can, but it's difficult. But yeah, we spend a lot of time, or we did before the COVID together, and we'll do the same as soon as all this blows over us. But yeah, and then, you know, Siggy and I were racing the boats together, so we're traveling all over, and same with the kids. We were able to win 4 world championships together in the boats. Wow. So we've had a good run together, and you know, he's my best buddy. He really is. He's a great guy, you know. And in saying that, you know, back in those days, we had to race against each other when it was individual racing. And, you know, we had to focus and know that we had to win. He wanted to beat me, and I wanted to beat him. But, you know, he had a lot of success, but the biggest problem with Siggy was injuries, especially in the end, man. And I'll tell you what, to this day, he walks around very slow, especially with his ankle. You know, we give him a hard time for wearing Crocs, but it helps his feet, because his feet and his ankles are terrible. You know, they really are, from injuries, you know. And yeah, 82 really should have been his year. Absolutely. And then injury stopped that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't tell Dennis this, but when I was working one year, I was delivering these linen products before my business, and I was working at this restaurant. I think it was called the Conestoga Inn or something like that. It was by Disneyland, and I met this lady, very nice, beautiful lady, and I got talking with her, and I think she said, "I'm Dennis Sigalos' sister," and I think it was his sister. And I said, "Oh, really?" I forgot her name. I don't know if it was Deb or whatever. I'm not sure. I can't remember her name, but
Little Deb, we call her.
It's Deb, yeah.
But we call her Little Deb.
Little Deb. She was cool. I used to talk to her all the time, but I didn't know it was Dennis's sister. But we were good friends. And she was a great, you know, lady. She's a great lady. And I talked to her, and then she said, "Oh, I'm Dennis Sigalos' sister." And I said, "What?" I didn't even know that. It shocked me. And I said, "You know, I might want to go buy a speedway bike and ride again, because I miss riding." I told her it was back a few years ago. And she said, "Oh, no, don't race speedway. No. She was like freaking out. And I said, "Why?" And she goes, "Dennis has terrible injuries from speedway, and we don't agree." And she was really anti-racing, and so I guess it really bothered, you know, his whole family because of his injuries. Correct? I mean, she was like anti.
No, she was very into Dennis's racing. Little Deb. Yeah. She came over to England, and you know, and her son Connor is an amazing racer for BMW. Connor De Felipe, he's amazing. So she, and plus her dad, grew up in racing boats and all that. So, but yeah, she was, of course, very into Dennis, but it hurt her to see him hurt. But are you kidding? She was one of the biggest and most avid supporters of Dennis and his racing, and mine too. She was behind all of us. She really was.
Well, I think it was after the injury it affected her. She's like, okay, enough. I mean, later when Dennis was really messed up, I think it changed, at that point. So.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I didn't tell Dennis that, but I thought that was a cool story. I was good friends with them. We were like best friends. And then she said, "Hey, I'm Dennis Sigalos' sister," and I was like, "What?" I didn't know that. That was kind of funny. I didn't tell Dennis.
Dennis is great.
He's cool. I know, Bruce, Dennis really loves you, and Dennis really adores you, like your best friend. I mean, he feels that connection with you, and you guys, are tight. Like you guys are best buds. So I really like to hear that.
Yeah, we have been forever. We have been forever. It's of course, when we were racing in England, he was in a different part of the country than I was, and he was directed and into his deal moved apart a little bit in those days because he wanted to win, I wanted to win. It was different when we got together for the American team races or anything that wasn't individual, but because he had the same mindset. He wanted to beat my ass just as much as I wanted to beat his, even though we were friends. And then when we got in the boats, we were racing together.
Yeah, Dennis and Bruce just have been best friends forever. I said to Dennis, like, too bad that we didn't have Dennis like on the show. Like for example, that Dennis and Bruce were not racing together, because that would have been really cool to see Dennis and Bruce on the same speedway team, but it never happened. But that was amazing, that Dennis and Bruce still remain good friends at this time. And Bruce Penhall was in the 82 World Championship, and he won that in his hometown of Los Angeles, California at the LA Coliseum. And Dennis Sigalos, his buddy, he was on the podium with third place. So that was amazing. You had Dennis Sigalos and you had Bruce Penhall on the podium in '82, and they went ahead and they just did great and just amazing. And they went to boat racing and won 4 world championships. They were the only racers to win motorsport championships in different sports like boat racing and speedway. So that was really amazing. And those guys were racers. And, their resumes were a mile long. And Bruce the Fox was amazing. And his journey to speedway, becoming a world champion. We kind of got to learn a little bit about what made Bruce tick. 2-time world champion. And Bruce retired as a world champion. I think he was the only guy ever to win 2 championships and then retire cold turkey, like cut his racing completely. He never went back to serious competitive racing, maybe a couple match races or for fun, but Bruce never really went back to race like on the teams and was serious, competitor. So